Welcome back. So, who is the biggest rule follower in this podcast? You guessed it, it's Tyler. So, of course, he'd want to do an entire segment about sports rules. Tyler, it's all you, my guy.
Yeah, so I thought this would be a fun segment to do. Basically, we're going to kind of go around and we're each going to pick a rule of any sport that you guys do not like and how you do the change. I think we all have a sport or something about a sport that just kind of irks us the wrong way when we watch it, and we just wish it was a little bit different. So I'm going to go around first, and then I'll finish with mine. So let's start off with James. What do you got?
Okay. So, I didn't really know what to do with this one, so I'm just going to, we'll do it live. But the thing I don't like the most about football is the fact that you can't touch the QB after he begins to slide when he's running. I absolutely hate that rule. Like, a lot of QBs slide after the defender's already in their tackling motion. Like, what are you supposed to do as a defender? Like, magically move out of the way or levitate? You can't do that. That's not how the world works. It doesn't make sense. I think, like, mobile QBs right now, like Kyler Murray, they're starting to take advantage of this rule by fake sliding so no one tackles them, and then they run for more yards. So that's how he gets, like, 100 yards a game. He does that all the time.
I remember
Defenders can
that's
no
when you
longer
ripped the
tackle.
silverware out. That was the day you ripped the silverware out.
It was because we played Kyler Murray, and he killed my team. But it sucks because every single rule nowadays, every single rule in the NFL goes against the defense. They're all made for the offense to exploit. So it's like there's no more defense in the NFL. It sucks. So how I would change it. I think if a QB decides to run with the ball out of the pocket, he should be treated like every other runner who has the ball, and he gets tackled without a penalty flag. It's his decision. If he didn't want to get tackled, take a knee, throw the ball out of bounds. Like, dude, don't slide and expect nobody to touch you. And that's what I hate the most.
Hey, James, can we talk about – I saw this meme about Kyler Murray. Can we talk about how he runs like a little kid who just stole a toy with the football?
Have you seen Patrick Mahomes waddle, dude?
Dude, yeah, Mahomes is sick, man.
Yeah, true. But every time I see Kyler Murray like carry the football, I don't know how he hangs on to it. Like, but he looks like he just like stole something and he's like running around like a little kid.
Stride frequency.
Like 5'6".
It's one of the names of speed is stride frequency trading. So there's your answer, scientifically speaking.
Hey, man, football needs more violence. So, James, I'm with you on that. Alex, what rule do you not like?
I also went football, NFL specifically, and I went the overtime rule. It is the most ridiculous thing in sports. If you're, two teams, they fought for 60 minutes, they're tied, a coin flip, one team scores a touchdown, it's over. The other team doesn't even get a chance to touch the ball. All the three other major sports have at least, baseball, you play a top and a bottom of an inning. Basketball, you get 5 minutes. Hockey, you get 5, and then you go to the shootout. Football, easily fixable. You give them a 10-minute. You give a 10-minute overtime period. You can still do the coin flip. You play the period out. If there's no score after that, they're still tied. Field goal, kickoffs, baby. That's the answer.
And then they go back distance. They go
back. Baby.
Mm-hmm.
You start at 50. Because we're trying to get through this, you start at 50. So if you're the Baltimore Ravens, you got Justin Tucker, dude, just tie the game, get it to overtime, you're gonna win. Start at 50. Each kicker makes that. Go to 55. Each kicker makes that. But no defensive rush. You just get a straight kick all the way back. Keep going until somebody misses.
Yeah, that's exactly how Rugby 10s does their overtime.
So you were paying attention.
I was paying attention in this part.
You're a liar.
Yeah. So basically in Rugby 10s, after you score a try, you get a conversion point, and you can have an option depending on where on the field for 1, 2, 3, or 5. So obviously the further back you are to kick it into the field goal depends on the points you get. So in overtime, if the game is still tied after regulation, they do exactly that. They just have the kickers do a kickoff basically, and they just alternate turns to see who will miss the first kick. So I think that's a cool idea.
Is it a drop kick?
No, it's just like a regular kickoff like in football.
They have little
Little tees.
stands.
Yeah.
Little tees.
Yeah. Eric, what do you got?
I got changing NBA fouls.
Oh God.
Yeah, let's get traded on the fucking high horse here. Fouls should be actual fouls. Games shouldn't be dictated by a simple slap in the wrist or like maybe like a body contact in the air when the player has his hands up and away. Like a foul should be like a hockey hip check or like a football shoulder or something. Like too many fucking fouls get called every game, especially in the fourth quarter. It literally changes momentum for teams. Trading and Peter Griffin would say it fucking grinds my gears. Specific players also seem to get more foul calls than ever. Every team has the one guy who gets the most calls for the team. That shit's not fucking fair. All right? It just isn't. They need to take notes from the NHL and the MLB by not ruining games via calls. Trading. What do you have to fucking say?
I can't speak to the one foul that really grinds my gears, so to speak, is charging. I try to understand it, but to me, a player gets punished for taking the ball to the hoop, and a guy just maybe gets flown back to the back off the court. And my suggestion is either A, don't fucking stand there, or if you're gonna stand there, you better make it worth it. The guy's trying to score. He's not trying to hurt you. He's not trying to he's not trying to legitimately like knock you over. He's literally trying to get to the basket and make it and make a play. And they get like, as if his feet's planted, it's an automatic charging. It just like,
you always hear that.
I want to see more push towards the basket myself. I think that's fun. And so maybe I'm not a basketball guy, so maybe I'm speaking on my ass, but I just don't like the charging call or charging foul.
Yeah. You always hear like, oh, his feet were set. And it's like you said, they just like jump in the way and their feet aren't moving. Of course his feet were set. He just jumped in front of them.
And players are starting to exploit that and flop backwards, and they're called like 90% of the time.
Or a guy goes in and he gets like tapped on the wrist and he's just screaming in the ref's ear, Alex Caruso, etc. But Caruso's a good player. He deserves it. But still, that shit, it gets annoying.
Yeah, it does seem that basketball, sometimes their fouls that they call are kind of vague, and there's not really any rhyme or reason for it. It's just any kind of contact, even though it's a contact sport. For me, watching it, it can get a little annoying as well. Traden, what's your rule change?
It's tough. There's a few that I kind of bounced around. In hockey, like the trapezoid rule, I think they should just get rid of that. But the one that I guess I kind of stick on because we haven't talked about this sport, it's not hockey, it's baseball, is I don't think there should be intentional walks. I think intentional walks are fucking stupid. And here's why. I pay money to go sit, behind home plate, for example, to watch Mike Trout hit dingers. That's what I paid to do. I pay money to go see Mookie Betts fucking hit dingers. And instead, a pussy-ass pitcher who can't strike the guy out decides, oh, I'm just going to walk the guy, and, we don't get the fun of, an actual competition between athletes. It's like, I'm too much of a pussy to throw down the middle or to actually play the game. I'm just going to intentionally walk you for strategic purposes. I think it's freaking stupid. I think that's a dumb play. It's dumb play because it just undermines the idea of athletes competing. I mean, if I had it my way, Connor McDavid wouldn't be going against, the shitty ass goalies in the NHL. They just say, oh, here, let me knock the net off so that, you don't get a chance to score. It's like, come on. That's what I feel the intentional walk is myself personally.
I like that one. I agree. It does suck when, there's a key situation and late in the game and, your best players come up the bat and first base is open. And a lot of times you go on first base and then it just kind of ruins the moment a little bit because that player doesn't get the chance to actually even bat. So
right. And don't get me wrong, I get the strategy if you can do it. I just don't think you should be able to do it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so here is my rule change. One thing that I really don't like, kind of going off Eric's basketball. I just think free throws are stupid, and I think free throws should be eliminated or at least decreased in the amount of how much they're used. For me, free throws, they just slow the game down, especially late in the game. And they're not exciting to watch. They're boring. It's like if a football team had a Hail Mary pass with no defenders. It's just kind of, it's not guaranteed, but it's a hell of a lot easier. So for me, it's just not very fun to watch. So my solutions for this is, one, you don't have to completely eliminate free throws, but maybe allow free throws until the fourth quarter. So it's late in the game. And then after that, if a player is fouled in the act of shooting, counts as 2 points. If he misses it, if he makes it, count it as 3. Just add on that point to it, so it automatically counts. Or you can flip flop it, allow free throws only in the fourth quarter. Or when teams are in the penalty, so after they've fouled so many guys, instead of them shooting free throws for non-shooting fouls, just give them 2 points. So if a guy is illegally blocked or whatever, and they're not shooting, just give them 2 points, move on. Or if a player is fouled, you have a 15-second one-on-one play with the shooter and the defender. So it's one-on-one, 15 seconds, just go for it. Or you make free throws
Jesus,
a lot more difficult, and you move the basket like it is at Dave & Buster's, and it moves back and forth and side to side. You just have to try to fucking make it.
That'd be solid.
So those are my solutions to basketball free throws.
Or you could grease up the rim like the carnivals.
Yeah, exactly. Tyler, just make it harder or more exciting.
I would say, for the most part, like, I agree. I think the biggest part, the problem I have in regards to what you said, or like in relation to what you said, is the bonus period, is where regardless of it's free throws, but you lose possession if you're fouled. So it's, to me, I think it would change the game if, yes, you still got free throws and you still maintain possession. I think that would completely change the game, that alone, because you're only fouling to change possession so that you can, have a chance to, do whatever you want. I think you should lose possession and you lose and you get, free throws shot against you. I think that's how it should be.
Yeah, I agree. For me, free throws are just boring to watch, and I just want to eliminate or at least make it more exciting. So that's my rule change, and that's all I got for this segment.
A lot to think about there, and a lot of possibilities if rule changes do occur. Thank you, Tyler. Invigorating conversation.